Good boy, buddy. Good boy. Good boy, Buck. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here, bud. Here. Here, Buck. Yes. Yes. Oh my God, yes, buddy. Oh, that's a little rough. Okay. Buck. Okay. Hey. So as of today, it's been 272 days since we brought Buck home. Buck is our foster dog. He's like a two-ish year old English pointer. And today is potentially one of the biggest days of Buck's life. Rather than try to tell the whole story, I'm just going to tell some of the good and the bad things about Buck and kind of where he's at right now. And I think the biggest thing is it's just where we started with the guy and where he is now is just, it's incredible. I think it speaks to the resilience of dogs in general. So when we first brought Buck home, he was surrendered to a shelter a couple hours south of where we live. We really didn't want him because we had just got done with another foster and we just kind of needed a break, but we caved. We brought him home and he was just stressed out. He wouldn't settle down in the house. He would just kind of pace around. We'd put him in his crate. He didn't really like going in his crate and he would just kind of pant, and you could just tell he was stressed. And then, you know, slowly over like the next week, 2 weeks, he started to settle down. He started to bond with the other dogs. He started to just, you know, decompress. That's kind of the biggest thing that happens when you first bring one of these dogs home. Now, we're at this point where he goes in his crate on his own sometimes just to have a little nap. And that kind of progression was just awesome for us to see. I will say it could be because he's young. You know, we got him, he was maybe a year and a half old. We've had him for 9 months now. So now he's almost a different dog than when we got him, just merely from growing up a little bit. But it was hard to get a recall on him. It took me a little while. I probably had the lowest point that I had with any of our fosters with Buck. He got away from me a couple times. One time was particularly bad. I took a chance with him too soon. Like, thinking back on what I know now, I probably took a chance on him a little bit too soon. Let him get a little too far away from me up in some thick, kind of like cover. And he just kind of ran off in the other direction. And what he did is he followed this whole system of mountain bike trails about 2 or 3 miles in the wrong direction. And I was running behind him with our Griffon was following me. Luckily, she's super good about that kind of thing, but basically just bushwhacking and chasing him across the mountains. That was probably the lowest point that we had. And from that point on, that was probably a couple months into our journey with old Buck, we just kind of stepped back a bit, started the recall work over, got in some more open spaces, got him on a long line, did more just dedicated sessions with him, and now, you know, fast forward 6 more months, and it didn't take the full 6 months, but, you know, a couple months after that, we have this dog that's just awesome. He went out hunting with me and Maple, our Griff, the entire fall season. You know, he really didn't have it figured out very well, but the more we got through the season, the more he started to kind of figure it out, and right towards the end, you could see that things really started to click. I don't have any really good footage of that, but the other day he did point a rabbit, and I was like, he's getting to that point where, I trust his body language and I see he's focused and I'm like, okay, there's something actually there. Turned out to be a rabbit instead of a bird, but it was still a pretty good point. That's kind of the best thing I've gotten on camera of him. But yeah, and I think the other thing that's really important is he has a really good off switch. He does really well in the house. He's bonded with our other dogs. This isn't really his whole story, but it's just kind of a little bit of a tribute to where we started with him and how far he's really come. We like fostering and we like seeing, especially that first couple weeks, the dog's personality change from just super stressed out, coming out of a bad situation, and just you kind of get to see their personality. And then a month later, you get to see more of their personality and, upwards and onwards for the life of the dog. Buck, I think, is maybe setting a record for how long he's been in foster. And I'm not 100% sure why that is. I think there's a little bit of a stigma around English pointers. Maybe he just hasn't gotten lucky yet. I don't totally get why people have this apprehension about English pointers, because the GSPs that we see go through the rescue, and just for a disclosure, we foster on behalf of a pointer specific rescue, but we don't represent that rescue. We just help out when we can. So by no means do we know exactly what's going on over there or anything, but it seems like the GSPs get adopted a lot quicker. So why have we had Buck for so long? Honestly, I don't know for sure. I think people are a little intimidated by English pointers. Everybody seems to want GSPs, and I get this. I get it. Buck runs huge, and he's got a lot of energy. But from the GSPs that we've been around hunting and fostering, to me, there isn't that much of a difference. I think it's going to take the same amount of time out of your day. You might just need a little bit more open country for a dog that runs that big. And I've seen bigger running GSPs that are close to the range that Buck has. So the variability between breeds and between specific dogs, I don't get it. And if anything, Buck is one of the better dogs that we've had in the house. If he gets a little exercise, he just kind of goes and sleeps for the rest of the day. You usually find him in the comfiest place that he can find, just hiding. And maybe at night he comes out for some cuddles and things like that. I got some really cool stuff I want to do with the truck, and we got some camping trips, so I need to get back in the habit of putting some videos together. It's kind of this now or never type of thing. This morning, we met up with a couple from Colorado that's taken a serious look at Buck. Probably the first serious application that he's had in the 9 months that we've had him. We've had a couple others, but they didn't really have the right setup or the right space for Buck specifically. So we went out to the mountains this morning. I didn't take any video or anything of that because I don't know these people that well. Buck ran with their dog and Maple, our Griff. Everybody had a great time. They really liked him. They're going to go look at one of their rescue dog while they're in town. But potentially Buck could be going home tomorrow. So the odd thing is, and I've told this to a few people, but either way, I'm going to be pretty sad. I'm going to be pretty sad if it doesn't work out for him and he misses out on a real good opportunity to find his forever home. And I'm going to be much more devastated if he goes home. Once a dog spends a certain amount of time in your house, they're just your dog. No matter if he lives with somebody else or not, he'll always be part of our family. I know that sounds cheesy, but we love the guy, and I'm even getting a little emotional talking about it. But he's become such a part of my daily routine. Him and I have such a good relationship now, and it's finally, when you have a dog, you get to this point eventually where you can relax when you're out in the woods with them, and you know what they're going to do, they know what you're going to do, you kind of have a whole whatever. Tomorrow might be the day for Buck. Maybe a longer, better story of the guy if this all works out. But anyway, if you're watching, thank you.